All right, folks. Well, welcome back to another review with the G-Man Adventures and Reviews. And don't forget the star of the show, Nala. Nala, hey, what's up, dog? She's always out here checking out the reviews, making sure I get it right, or making sure that she's adding humor to your guys' content by throwing me off and letting me screw up over and over and over again. So I know I did a review on my kind of just like an overtake really on my 2024 Yamaha Tenere T700 adventure bike, and I also have a 2024 KTM 500 EXC F 6 Days kind of adventure bike as well. Definitely not set up for single track, as you can tell with the tire on the back. This is essentially bone stock how it came, besides maybe a few upgrades, two big upgrades that I will tell you more in depth about, because it completely changes the bike. But I just wanted to kind of go over today, give you a little review of what I think about this bike. I have very few hours on this bike. I think I have just south of 200 miles on it, so not a ton of experience with it. But as far as the bike itself, the power plant, and just kind of what I bought it for. Honestly, I shouldn't have bought it. I didn't really need it, but it was just one of those dumb things where it looked cool. I wanted it. I bought it. I don't want to say I regretted it, but definitely buyer's remorse kind of set in. But I love the heck out of this bike and riding it. I just I don't need three bikes, so. One of these two are up for sale, whether it's this one or the Yamaha Tenere T7. Not too sure, but one of them is going up for sale probably beginning of next week. So if you're interested, let me know. Drop a comment in below, and then I can kind of get you some more details on that. And if I post it on Facebook Marketplace, I can share that link with you if you do have interest in the bike. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of jump right into the 2024 KTM 500 EXC F 6 Days version. This is the Argentina special wrap. So each 6 days comes out with a new theme, and this one is the Argentina white, obviously with blue and orange. I don't hardly own anything white except for undershirts, because I can't keep things white. And so this right here is definitely, it's grown on me for sure. Initially, I wasn't completely sold on the colors compared to the brand new 2025 EXCF color schemes and plastics. But the longer, Nala, what are you doing? She's like pouting over there. But the longer I've had it and the more I look at it, it has definitely grown on me. There's a few new things that came out, in 2024 for these. It does have a new rear end shock absorber. And you can kind of see here a little bit in there. Oh, watch out. You're right in my face there, goofball. But the cool thing about the suspension upgrades is that they are adjustable by hand. So there are no tools required. I'm kind of jumping all over the board here with the video, but no tools required on the suspension adjustments. For both rebound and compression. It's just literally a thumb and a finger. So they did make a slight change to the air box a little bit. I don't know a lot of the details behind that, so I won't bore you with that or make crap up, because I'm not too sure what I'm talking about. And then it's the start-stop switch on the right side of the handlebar. That's new for 2024 for this version, I guess, just in the placement, the way it's separated into two different switches now. And then we got just a few small tweaks to the engine. They tilted it back, or one, it's lighter, and they tilted it 2 degrees backwards, along with a 3mm sprocket, which is 3 millimeters lower than the previous model. Supposedly it provides for a better center of gravity, handling and maneuverability. Me being kind of a new rider and not a ton of experience, nor have I ever had a 500 EXCF in previous years, I honestly wouldn't know the difference on what they did with the engine. It does have an all-new off-road control unit under the seat. I'll try to snap a picture of that and put it in the video here. And then also too, the subframe is slightly adjusted new for 2024. And I'll get into the specs here in just a second. It does have the all-new 48mm WP Exact closed cartridge spring forks, which is awesome. And then the brand new LED light. They say it's 300% brighter, providing more illumination than previous models. I don't know if that's accurate, but I can tell you that it's plenty of light for our early morning rides, or just when I've been out on the streets at night. I got tons of light, and I couldn't be happier with the light. Obviously, if I put some amber pods or something there, you know, maybe on the front end, that would be a nice complement to it. But the stock light, as it sits, gives you plenty of illumination to see the road clearly and safely. Just some quick specs. We won't go too far in the weeds with this, but the weight overall is 253 pounds, or 115 kilograms. The ground clearance is about 13.6 inches. I did put a skid plate on here. And then it is, again, electric start. The fuel tank capacity, stock, it is a 2.245 gallon fuel capacity. I definitely wish that was more. I know a lot of folks, they put the desert tanks on there, gives them more capacity. Obviously, that's a good thing, because it doesn't necessarily sip on gas, and you definitely don't go too far on just a tank. So it is a wet clutch with Brembo hydraulics, and really that's it. And on the spec side, you know, I'll give a quick rundown of what you get when you do purchase a 6 days version. There's a few extra goodies, and then really for you, I'm gonna set this kind of down here. Really for you, it's just trying to figure out, you know, is it worth it? Is it the stuff that you would normally put on the bike, you know, as you own it over time? Is it something you kind of want out of the box, ready to go with a certain amount of protection to it? You know, it's a few $1,000s difference. I think it's just shy of that, but it's definitely a pretty penny, you know, for the 6 days. For me, it was worth it, just because I like working on the bikes, but it's pretty cool just to kind of get this out of the box, you know, ready to rip, minus a couple upgrades, and have the protection and have some of those additional things that I did put on my 300 XCW when I got it. So the 6 days package, right off the bat, you can see you get the special graphics. Once again, this is the Argentina version. You do get a powder coated orange frame, which is pretty cool. I'm not a big orange fan, although in high school our colors were black and orange. You do get additional protection throughout the bike. So you got frame protection here, you got chain guard protection there. You have I almost said disc guard brake protection, but you don't have any of that. And again, frame protection there, and so you don't have your swing arm protection or anything else. But and you do also get a quick release for the front tire. And that's pretty much it on the protection. I'm sure I'm missing something, so if I am, drop a comment down below, fill in the blanks. And you do get a map selection switch with the 6 days. I will tell you about what I did that kind of bypasses that altogether. You do get a specialized seat. I don't really notice it any more grippier than the stock seat from my 300, so I can't attest to how much more performance you get out of it. I mean obviously not performance, but for more rideability. You do get some traction control option in most cases, as well as a quick shifter with some of the upgrades on, if you want to call it a tech package that comes with 6 day versions in most countries. Let's see. You also get orange anodized CNC machine triple clamps. You can see those there. And then you also get premium giant rims, which they are pretty sweet. And I've hit some pretty big freaking rocks with a nice little branding there, 6 days. And haven't had any issues with them so far. You get kind of a larger muffler, which I took that off and I got a FMF one on there, as you can see. And then supposedly there's an enhancement to the braking and suspension components. That's pretty much your 6 days upgrade, you know, as you buy the 6 days version. A couple of things I did for this bike right when I got it, or shortly after I got it. First one was the 4.1 RCT FMF exhaust. Love the way that this sounds. I will fire it up here later on in the video, but absolutely love the way it sounds and the performance that it gives. And then with that though too, I also did the Get ECU. You can kind of see there the GET on top. This is the, I can't remember what model it is, but it's the electronic version as opposed to just the manual thumb switch for the mapping. I'll say this, to where if I was going to do it over again, I wouldn't have spent the extra money to do the electronic version. I would have just went with the thumb switch for the mapping and left it at that. But I can 100% guarantee you that when you do the Get ECU combined with the FMF exhaust, it makes it a completely different bike. Completely different. It wakes it up and unleashes everything between your legs, you know, with the twist of the throttle. And it's probably definitely one of my best upgrades I've done on any of my bikes. And I would do it over and over again in a heartbeat. It wasn't cheap, you know, pretty much total combined with those two upgrades, excuse me, was about, it was like $1,700-$1,800 just for those two, if not a little more. But it was 100% worth it. And again, it changes the bike entirely. And then I did the Tusk fuel cap there, and that's really it. That's really it. All right, back here with a different view. As you can see, behind me is the 6 days, as well as, what are you doing? Watch out. As well as, guess who? Nala. Say hello to YouTube, huh? Oh, it's a big baby. She's a big baby. She thinks she's a lap dog. She's definitely not a lap dog. So I kind of went over a review, you know, or not a review per se, but just some information on the bike itself, you know, what you get when you go with the 6 days version, the upgrades that you get. A couple of things that I did to the bike. Again, I can't stress it enough. The Get ECU and the exhaust. Two things, a must-have for the bike. For, you know, it just completely changes it. The next thing I would like to do is I would like to upgrade the mirrors, get a couple double take mirrors, and really that's it. I got the Kriega bag system. I got the base for this bike. And then on my T7, I have two 12s and an 18 for the bags themselves. And I'm not too sure which one I'm gonna kind of put up for sale. So I'm definitely gonna keep the bag system. So if I end up keeping this bike, I will install the Kriega base plate or the base essentially, and then slap those bags on there. So that'll be kind of my moto camping setup. So I'll have, again, two 12s and an 18, and then I'll definitely always probably have a backpack on me with that. And I have just a generic Cabela's dry bag that I would throw as a roll top on that loadout too. So this bike, you know, who's it for? It's definitely a bike to where if you're wanting to get into the adventure bike riding, it's a bike that is going to be lighter. It's going to be a lot easier to handle, especially off-road. And I don't want to say single track, because new riders aren't going to be riding single track, doing their ADV stuff. So, but it definitely is a lot lighter, a lot more forgiving. If you lay it down, boy, you can go all day with picking it back up, as opposed to laying down a 400-pound plus bike, you know, numerous times in the dead of the summer. You're gonna be wiped. You know, it's gonna be a long day, and you're gonna be, you know, contemplating life's choices, halfway through a day like that. So that one, it's definitely a huge positive to it. You could use a hitch carrier, throw this on a hitch carrier, slap it in the receiver, and take off with it, with other things, and use that as your commuter if you once you get to your location. So there's a whole bunch of versatility to it because it is lighter and definitely a lot easier to take with you as an adventure bike. But obviously, the whole point of having an adventure bike is to be on the road and to be out there exploring. I would say the one drawback to this bike is that it's not a bike that's super comfortable to get on the road and do a couple 100 miles on the road each day. Can you do it? Yeah. Is it going to be enjoyable? Not so much. It's got a lot of vibration to it, and it's just the seat. Obviously you can upgrade the seat, maybe a seat concepts, or you can get those giant fuzzy seats I've seen before with people. So you can upgrade the seats, you can upgrade some of the comfort features there, but just overall, it's a light bike. You're going to have a lot of wind play, a lot of disturbance there. It's not a bike you want to, be on the road with all the time. That's my personal opinion. Others might, vary from those thoughts or opinions behind it. And feel free to start a conversation down below. I'd be curious to see, what others think about a bike like this, as far as the pros and cons versus obviously the pros to it being off-road capable, as on the flip side of that, on-road comfort, and just all day, sustainability on the road like that. And so I would say that's the one big drawback. My T7 I would take across country in a heartbeat compared to this thing. I would do it though, if it's the only bike I got. So again, depending on whether we go left or go right. But the other big thing for this bike, to where you got a lot of, again, that versatility, to where you can ride some single track, you can ride some hard trails on it. But then in the wintertime too, if you want, you can slap on a timber sled kit to this thing, and it has all the torque in the world to get you up in the deep powder, and so this can be a year-round bike. It really can. And that's really all I got. So going back to who's it for, I don't want to say beginner, but I would say like an intermediate rider, because it does have a lot of grunt to it. And so I would say an intermediate rider, or a beginner that's truly wanting to do adventure bike riding, that's going to have, a lot of forest roads or fire roads to it, and not a lot of pavement. Maybe pavement in between and connecting dirt. The other thing to where, excuse me, I had a hard time swallowing there. The other thing where it would be definitely more for your intermediate to advanced riders, if you are wanting to get in some gnarly single track, because it does have a lot of low end torque. I mean, this thing will put you on the back end and rip off that rear fender in a heartbeat from an endless wheelie. And so, you just got to be careful with that and kind of know it. But again, being so light, it's an easy bike. You can throw it around pretty easy. I'd love to know what you guys think on the bike, what you guys have compared it to in the past. If you've had other bikes similar, whether it's the Husqvarna, some of the other, the Yamahas, be curious to see kind of what your thoughts and opinions are on this bike. And if you're interested in this bike, obviously I've got to represent my buddies down at Coeur d'Alene Power Sport. I got my gear on. I think they still have a 2024 6 days, just like this bike down there. But I know they can get the 2025s in. Go down there, talk with Cole, the parts guys, Joe. I go ride with those guys all the time. Just great people all the way around. Go down there and pick their brain on the comparisons if you want, besides just listen to me blab about what my thoughts are on the bike. Obviously, I'm not a mechanic. I am not an expert rider. I'm just sharing with you what I think and feel about the bike and my experience with it. And that's all I got. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. I hopefully I'm hopefully going to do a review on my 300 XCW here in the next couple weeks. So it's pretty darn, I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty darn dirty right now, but I'm going to get it cleaned up and maybe throw it in front of the camera here in the next couple weeks. And we can kind of chew on that one for a little while. So, all right. We'll talk to you later. Forgot to fire it up for you guys. So I'm just going to do this quick because I'm in the garage. The door is closed. So it's not only going to be loud, it's going to be smelly. Sure, got it here. Again, just with that FMF exhaust, get ECU, obviously, at the end. I'm going to stay to the ECU, but whoop. It's kind of a cold start here. Well, this isn't a good video. Video the vibration you want. I also see, I'm going to shut this off pretty soon since I'm already getting gassed out. If they get ECU controls, traction control, all those different things, multiple settings to it.